my light on on top of my ceiling is so small. When he sent me the light, I was like, "You sure this gonna be bright enough?" So the light I got over each tier, it has 4 different levels. It goes from 30%, 50% to 80% to 100%.
Wow.
So I got it at 50 because above that is so bright.
Yeah.
You can't even look at it.
Yeah. So you said people walk by and like, yo, why so bright up in there?
At night, daytime it's so bright, and my whole shop window is all glass, so I got natural light coming in, but it's still so bright.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I always ask shop on something new, so y'all know. I said, I wish you would have called me so I can send you to this light company and get your shop relit the right way. So everybody putting ring lights on the wall, lights on, it looks a mess, and it's still not bright.
But let's dive right on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So first thing I want to know is who is Craigskilz, man?
Oh man, Craigskilz is a character from Wilmington, Delaware. Born and raised.
And he got his partners around here too that's gonna be putting him on blast out here.
Born and raised, you know what I'm saying? I started out as a football star, and the Barber game took my whole stardom over. So that's just a little bit about me, you know. Been Black College, recipient of football and everything, champion, winner.
Oh, nice.
So
what school?
Delaware State.
Delaware State.
It was
nice.
Delaware State College when I was playing, and it transferred to the Delaware State University.
Wow.
So it's like I was in 2 situations, but it was all good. Though. Black College is a beautiful thing if you make it your choice. It can be, you know, hard for some people, but it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, and that's funny. That's actually, I'm glad you brought that up because that's extremely important on understanding, not forgetting our black colleges and being, I'm in North Carolina.
Okay.
And so unfortunately, we just had one of our historical black schools run into some situation with St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And they had, so it's unfortunate.
Fortunate they closed down. Yeah,
but
it's unfortunate. Yeah.
But that's and I know that's kind of a little bit off topic, but that's extremely important. It is about the black colleges because we need those.
Institutions.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My kids are 12 and 9, but we trying to encourage them to think about HBCU.
HBCU all the time.
So, but anyway, so that's awesome. So, what inspired you to becoming a barber, or I'm more or less, you know what? Since we here, because I know today you taught some classes today, and you got classes again Monday, right?
Yeah, yes,
so
absolutely.
So what got you into barbering? But I also want to know what got you into becoming a educator and influencer, as well.
What got me into barbering was because my barber friend I played football with, he was my barber. And he was one day was just tired of I was like, yo, I need a haircut. He was like, man, I don't want to cut today. I don't cut today. So I went through all that being a client of, you don't want to cut today. I need a haircut. I'm wolfing and the whole deal. So me and him was in majored in art. I'm an art major. I was an art major, and we was in class one day. And he was like, you probably can cut the way you can draw. And I said, is that easy? He said, yeah. So now he's teaching me how to cut. And when he taught me how to cut, now he said that's the worst thing I could ever did because now you shut my whole barber game down.
Right.
So now he said I never put the clippers down after he taught me, so it just swung me in a whole other direction. So you know, sometimes when you look at stuff in the past, that was your line anyway. It just you just had to wait for it to catch up to you. So your plan is already written. You just gotta be in the right position to receive it, and then you'd be surprised how stuff come at you. So that's what it came from there.
Nice. And that actually speaks right into the very next question I was going to ask you so what was that part of your journey? What led you to you now?
Right. What led to me now was I don't know, just by me cutting, and I wanted more out the game, or the game or industry, and then from there another friend of mine I used to compete against. He started a company which was Major League Barber. And for me and him competing with each other for so many years and just have the respect of competition. And being if that guy show up, I know the competition is serious. Or if he show up, I know we be in the battle. Right. And then when he started his company, he came and said, yo, I want you to help join me. We're going to take it on the road. What we've been battling about doing so much, let's take it on the road. And I came out on the road, and that's when he introduced me to my teaching bug. He was already out. So he knew by just competing with me, the energy I was bringing. So he said, I'm going to get this guy. He could have went and got a lot of guys because we all was there. But, he came and got me, and after that, we never looked back. Never looked back, still rolling.
And so, and then now, I wouldn't say, aging ourselves or whatever, but, my thing is, I remember Major League back in the day with the Tracy Morgans and blue black going on, chilling.
Right.
And for those that, again, by this being a Barber College podcast, we target usually students and of course apprentices as well.
Absolutely.
But for those that are new in the game, don't realize Major League how much impact and influence it had on the industry.
Absolutely.
And so I'm glad we got an opportunity to have this conversation because, and I know we're going to do a separate conversation on Barber Major League history. Is because the barbers today need to know about that.
They need to know the history of how. When you look at the barber industry today, it's always a story of how it got here. Most people see it and you never realize, well, how did it get to this stage where we at today? And I'm one of the reasons why it's at the stage that it is today.
And when we say stage, we talking about the barber battles,
barber
shows,
education,
because
getting
at one point, just keeping it real, they wouldn't let black barbers into a lot of the
well, it was
shows,
remember
right?
everybody has to remember the hair industry is still the most what's the word I want to use? Not diverse.
Versatile.
Not versatile.
Wide.
But now I said it earlier. Most
you did something. You did talk some.
The barber industry is still segregated. That's the word.
Oh.
It's the segregation in the hair industry is still big.
Yeah.
You can ride around in any city, anywhere around the world. It's the black shop, the Spanish shop, the Mexican shop, the Caucasian shop, the Asian shop. So when we came out of the game, when we came out into the hair industry, now even at this show, the premiere show, the big shows, it wasn't no black barber presence. If it was, that it was only one black guy on the hair company team.
And it was no barbering period.
It was no barbering period. It was barbering, but they was geared to more of the cosmetologists.
Yeah.
So it was the big three: Wall, Andes, and Oster. That's it. It wasn't no barber companies that you see today. That was the big three, and they all had one black guy.
Right.
On there. Then we showed up with a full black team doing urban street haircutting, and all them companies now had to look at us.
Yeah,
And also
had the hot logo.
Right. Had the dope logo, which we was Major League Baseball was sending cease and desist a lot to change the logo. So and we all was young.
Yeah.
So we all young, come from different perspectives. It was moving so fast, it got out of control. And now I'm happy to see where it's at today.
Nice. So going back to some things we're talking about as your journey, and with your experience and with you being an influencer, and being an educator, what trends do you see emerging, or what do you kind of see, and what trends do you see emerging, and then as an educator, and I know this, I speak from a school perspective, but being out and going to shows and things like that. How do you stay ahead of the trends? Like what is your strategy?
Well, first we'll just take it back. First, everything goes in a circle. So when we came out here, being as though the area we was from the Barber Triangle, which that's Philadelphia, South Jersey, and Delaware. We came, most of the guys had full beards. When we came out in the show, nobody had beards with us. Nobody. Everybody was clean faced, maybe had a goatee. We came with the full beard because that was the culture of where we was coming from in that area. It was the beard from the guy. Most of the guys that was with us was Muslim. They was just wearing beards naturally, and we seen it grow. From that, it was the hair dye game that came in. So we was dyeing hair, and we was the only area that was dyeing hair. So just I want y'all just imagine when we come to a show in every city, they seen our beards and our hair black. So we was looking like aliens to them. They was like, "What are y'all doing? Why y'all got all this stuff in y'all hair?" And we was showing you how to put it in. Like you said at the time, the book, we didn't know when you take a picture, the color we was using would show up purple. So a lot of people across the country were like, well, I don't want purple, but it wasn't purple, it was black. It's just the color we was used at the time. So we talk about the grassroots of everything. So we seen all the rest of the races grow their beards and wear beards. But we was doing it first. So now as today, when I go down on the floor and you see everybody with beards, it's like, to me, it's old because I've been around so long. So it spun back. When it spun back, everybody's face got black in it. Now, so many men, you can't take the black off their face. They wanted it before. We was trying to put it in. They didn't want it. So when you come from that space, you look at everything different. So where it's going in the future, it's going, to me, to a good and bad space. The good space is it's growing. A lot of men, women are getting into barbering. The bad space is it's getting more segregated than it was when I started. So everybody's in their pockets. So even the show we at now today, it's almost less than 1% of African Americans here. So and the advertisement is not pushing for them to show up. So in doing that, so now I'm looking around like, what's going on? So everybody else is here, but the African American, being me, African American male, my presence is not here. So a lot of my friends say they stopped coming to the show because they got older. They ask me why I still do it, because I want to show the presence I'm here. We still around.
And
We still cutting at a high.
Still the passion too.
Still the passion, and we still cutting at a higher level. And we got the tricks. So it's a lot of new tricks. It's a lot of what my partner Wanza Poole says. It's a lot of smoke screen tricks too, to cover up the mistakes.
Yeah.
So using the dye, a lot of people on the floor now has a lot of mistakes, but it's covered up with black spray.
Black spray.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brings me a funny story when where you say that, because I had a client who moved to like Charlotte, it's like 2 hours away from where we at. And he told a story about how he went to a shop and he was talking about how he was getting a haircut, and then all of a sudden the barber just wiped his whole forehead off. So my nah, I don't like that. Start over again. And he was like, "Yo, man, this is ridiculous.
It's
It's performative,
ridiculous.
man." And that's why I think when it comes to enhancements, I don't never know, because I know a lot of the young upcoming barbers are. You know, everybody's on the enhancement, but I stand on this. Something that I heard someone say one time that I when it comes to enhancement, it's an enhancement, not a replacement.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, a lot of barbers coming up and seasoned barbers are using, like you said, as a crutch, using an enhancement instead of making their line sharp and crispy. You focus on that instead of trying to make
the haircut. But I'm such an OG and such understanding my business, been around so long. All the barbers online talk about enhancement. When they talk about enhancement, they talk about color. But I was backing up there. I said, well, all y'all spraying holding spray. That's an enhancement. So forget the color. Before you even do the color, to get the shape line, you scraping up holding spray. Now, once again, here's come the segregation. Only the African Americans can get the white so-called ash line on it. All the rest of the cultures have to get a pencil to get to scrape that line up. So that's the look at the skill level. Now we dealing with, when we came out, we was coming from an area that wore a hard C shape up, or what they call the curved C. We was calling it the hard C. Still today, so many other places besides our area still got a flat beard line. So that was killing us still today. They still trying to do the hard C's, but a lot of guys from other areas don't like the hard C.
Or they call them the C cup.
The C cup. Everything changes. But that come from, again, all that style that we talk about come from the Barber Triangle area. Yeah. That's the style of how we cut. So I always say when somebody tells me Utah, no matter where in the United States, I got a barber, he nice, show me the picture, I see his style, more than likely he's from my area that moved, or he studied under somebody from my area. No matter how you want to put it in this barber industry, everything that's happening today that's going to happen in the future is coming from that Barber Triangle area.
Gotcha.
The difference is we did it in the 90s, early 2000s. It's 20 years spinning back. When it spin back, you add something new to it. You know what I'm saying? That's the future of the game. They adding something new to it. But the respect is, I always tell cats, love, honor, and respect the game. If you love the game, cool, but you don't respect the people that was before you. You know what I'm saying? They still can cut. They still got the skill. You can learn a new skill from them if you just open up your mouth instead of being arrogant. You know what I'm saying? It's new skills out there for you.
Shouldn't be, and we shouldn't, as a culture, right? You know, the whole beauty and wellness industry as a whole, as a culture, we should want to give each other props. We should want to make sure we recognize our history, right?
Absolutely.
Because you still have the Sam Villas and all the rest of them.
They still the same thing.
They still get the credit. They still get the props they deserve. It should be the same thing on the barbering side. And you brought up something else that I think is extremely important for listeners to think about. Like again, pointing out to I was trying to find teachable moments for students or what have you. But that's also speaking when you're speaking of that triangle. That's speaking of also how we learn about that different styles are depending on where you're from. You have different influences can influence a particular trend in the style. And like you said, the beards have always been the whole. I always associate to the whole Philly with beards.
Absolutely,
right? And so, and I'm originally from New York, so
okay, you understand.
So I always looked at Philly as being the beard spot.
Beard mecca.
And then you took me back, and that's why I'm kind of like nerdy with it, geeking right now because it's like. You take me back to the Solid Gold magazine. Shout out to Solid Gold. Solid Gold magazine. I remember being in the shop in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the magazines, looking at the dye going on, seeing the hard C cup or C or what you want to call it. And just so that's why I'm like tripping right now because like I said, this is we talk about history right now.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad we got this opportunity to do that. Something else I want to. So with that being said, what is and now you've been. Just so how long you would say you've been doing educating at shows and all total?
Total was probably like 2004, 2005 when Nor came to my shop and I came out. The first show I did was in Atlanta. I did platform work, a cut down there, and then after that we went city to city. And once again, Major League Barber was so important because we didn't get paid. We was booking our own flights, our hotels. We was working. Major League Barber, he tried to give us as much money as he can for making some money, but we was really out here for the love. So just imagine you going the 12 seasons 1 year and you getting maybe $100 and $200 here, but you get the big expense. Yeah. So you was really doing it for the love, but in turn you was teaching the same time. So he spawned a lot of regular barbers to become teachers just by traveling around, seeing the bigger picture of the game.
So you say about 20 plus
I've been about 20 plus years easily. When I left Major League Barber, I started Iconic Barber Education with a couple of other members from.
You got the bling on right now. Make sure you
got the bling on.
Right now.
Got the bling. I make Iconic all day. Got the bling on.
In the building. In the building.
Yeah, and like I said, yeah. So even creating the company from Iconic, we always. This is a funny story. When we was Major League Barbers, so we was like, well, we was already down with a group called Major League Barbers. So if we're going to start a group, we have to go to a higher name. The higher name was Iconic. That's how we came up with Iconic Barber. Nice. So we always say our story is we went from major to icons of the industry. So that's why we Iconic Barbers today. So we still a piece up Major League Barber guys, but we came to Iconic and went to a whole nother realm, which kept it education.
Well, so with that being said, that kind of leads to what my next question was. Could you share like any kind of memorable experience you had, like, from being as an educator, like any show stand out to you the most?
Well, I got two.
Town, the city, a favorite town, or something
I got two, because I want your listeners to understand the how the game went and how what was going on. So when you see a barber battle, there was no barber battles. The only barber battle that it was Andy's threw a battle down Atlanta called the Andy's battle, but it was a regular, I ain't gonna say watered down, but basically watered down barber battle. The first barber battle, as you see barber battles today, was Major League Barber Battle at the IBS show in New York. That was the first battle to that you can say what you see today.
Because you had the major manufacturers, and then y'all major,
it was us.
Us was then with the private or in the individual.
We was independent. It was independent companies. There's only three: Wall, Andy's, and Oster.
Remember,
right?
You had to do the haircut before. You
didn't do the haircut. That was a different competition.
Right.
So Andy's, it was Andy's, Oster, and Walls. Andy's the only one threw anything like a battle in Atlanta. Oster didn't care. They were selling the clippers to the females, and Walls was like, we so OG, we really don't need the battle. It was new to him. So when IBS did the Major League Barber battle in New York, I had got at the time, Trey Songz DJ was my friend. He DJ'd it. So that was the first time a DJ even DJ'd the first battle.
Wow. So say that again.
We had Trey Songz DJ at the time. He was Trey Songz DJ at the time. DJ'd at the battle. So now that was the first influence of the DJ in the show. We had we supposed to get at the same time. I'll tell you how far I go back. The show Cake Boss was just got this first series on TV where he was designing cakes for people. We called him. We was trying to get a cake made of the logo so he can introduce to the cake. He would have came, but we called too late in time. So that was going to be. So I'm just telling you how far I go back it was.
Just some history right there.
Absolute history. Right, so that was the second year we did IBS. The first year we did IBS, we was at a booth, but the IBS, this is how crazy the game is. No disrespect to IBS, but they had us in the urban pavilion where all the black owners that owned a product was at. The carpet was different. The sign said the urban pavilion. So we checked, we was like, yo, why y'all put us in a segregated section called the urban pavilion? They only did it that 1 year because so many black businesses came.
Yeah.
You understand? So you got to understand.
So what year roughly was this?
I had to be like about 2006, 2007.
Wow, they actually called it the urban.
They called it the urban pavilion. I still got the receipts too, IBS. Don't get it twisted. I got the book. You know what I'm saying? That showed.
Shout out to IBS.
Shout out to IBS. IBS is still one of the best shows in the country. One of the first. They still legit. But y'all history was I had urban pavilion. The second year they let us do the battle. The battle was so loud, all the wrestling companies was used to complain about our noise. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because it was new. So all the people was coming was just going crazy because it was just a new thing. Right. From there, all the rest of the shows, Premiere, ICC, wanted that battle in their show. That's what started the circuit of these shows, Caucasian dominant shows, started having barber battles. Right. Now you see them in there, a couple guys got barber battles, but it started with Major League Barber doing the battles. Right. Of course, the evolution
started independent.
Evolution, people gonna come in, they're gonna do better deals, you're gonna make it look like it's a better situation, but everything has a starting point. Yeah. And that's where it all started at. And after that,
I'm so excited that we got a chance to have this conversation because not only, you know, it's important for black barber history,
Yeah, absolutely.
but just for barber history in general.
You got to know
what I
where
mean?
it came from. Yeah.
And like you said, and as you were talking, it got me thinking about like we talked off air.
Right.
Is that we talked about how we said comparing it to hip hop.
Yeah.
You got a major label.
Yeah.
Or you want independent.
Independent.
And it's like a lot of the independent ones that spent off because you
Yeah.
know that some
Spin
of
off,
the local
yeah.
shows are going to the IBS,
Independent,
going
yeah.
to the Barber, going to
Right,
these bigger
right,
shows,
right.
and they want to do it in their city.
Right.
So for those that are out there creating barber battles,
Yeah.
again, we dropping some barber battle history.
Barber battle
for you
history.
right now.
And then this was when there was no barber battles in the whole United
Yeah,
States.
yeah.
Even when the show in Puerto Rico, we went to this is before, if any Latin barbers watching and from the island of Puerto Rico, the convention center in San Juan, when they moved the show in the convention center, it was the first year that show, the Latin show in San Juan, had it in the new convention center. They asked us to come over there. I got the receipts. I judged the barber battle, which was 100 barbers.
Wow.
They broke out in the fight. I got the pictures and the receipts. Wasn't no dying going on in Puerto Rico.
Right.
They didn't understand that. We was all over there teaching how to die.
Wow.
So even to date now, I always go back to this, and no disrespect about how segregated it is, we can't even get invited back to Puerto Rico. Even if we spawned that whole island on how to die. So now, just because we don't speak Spanish, they don't even invite us over no more, but we kind of feel disrespected. Now, we sparked it,
Yeah.
which is okay. We understand evolution grows up and go. If the shows over there are amazing, they do an amazing job, but it's for me coming from when I was over there, I couldn't be at one place at one time. We had to be everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, and keep growing, but don't forget that everybody has a different run.
Right. And you got me thinking, I'm doubling back a little bit, but going back to the beard situation, because I thought about it when you was talking, is that actually, not only did y'all set the trend, but you think about it, again, this is my theory or my thought, is that I feel like, now with that being said, that y'all helped spark what we know, what we coined today in the corporate world as accepting the Crown Act, when they accepting all the longer hair and beards.
Right.
When you think about it, that
that blew it off.
There's some connection to that.
There's connection that blew
There's
it off.
some connection to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then that's the reason why we say we the underrated profession. Our profession as a barber profession,
Yeah.
we make so much impact and influence in the communities that a lot of times people forget.
They forget.
They don't think about us. What kind of influence that we have? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what's up. So what advice would you give somebody up and coming like student that want to get out or that want to be inspired to become an educator? What advice would you give?
The first advice, you have to love what you do, and you have to respect and honor the business, the industry. If you don't have those three, then it's almost like what you in it for. You have to understand this is a love business. A lot of people that do the hair business are really love because they touch people every day.
Yeah.
And they touch energies every day. So you have to love what you do, and you have to be passionate about it. It's not going to come overnight. Your success might not be. You might be in a salon, a barbershop, nail tech, where somebody is successful. You have to wait your time. Your time is going to come. Stay at it, and your time is going to come. It's not going to come overnight. There's time might come 3 years. Yours might come in 8 or 15, but it's going to come. And don't be afraid to ask for advice. Talk to people and present yourself.
Yeah.
Because you just never know. Network. You never know who can change your life.
Yeah.
The person that you might say is not dressed in nice or a little corny. That might be your best help. So that's why I respect that they in the business, first of all, because you want to be in the business too. So they do have it. Everybody's in the business have some kind of advice for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It might not be help you now, but it might help you later.
Right, and that's so true. And like matter of fact, I mean, I'm evidence of that now. Like we connected, and here we are now. If I didn't ask, you know what I'm saying, and it's part of that network, and it's extremely important. So I appreciate you saying. And then you got me thinking of something else real quick, and I know we want to switch over to we're gonna do a panel discussion here in a second. But just for those that, again, I know you got the receipts.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there now. I've been cutting since '94.
Yeah.
And like you said, there was no barber battle. I maybe dating myself or whatever. Yeah. But like you said, there were no battles before until we started seeing the Major League came on the scene. And it wasn't until my wife years later convinced me, like, why don't you go to one of these shows? I ain't going to no show.
Yeah.
I already doing what they've been doing. I'm already doing
and now even that,
I'm glad I went.
Yeah, glad you went.
Because then I got a chance to see the competition, seeing the new products, and I was like, I felt like, and at that time I was probably like 10 or 15 years in the game, and I thought like, man, what they gonna show me now? But then just like you said, the networking.
Networking.
It's extremely important. So that's another gem for all
Yeah,
y'all that may
another
be
gem.
watching.
Yeah.
When y'all go to these shows, like he said, when you go to these shows, make sure you network. Holler at some people. Let them know who you are. You never know who can help you or what kind of advice.
Right.
It's a community.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So a couple more questions, then we'll move on. But so with that being said, and this is really actually a really good question, is could you share your perspective on the impact of social media today? Because it's a gift. I feel like it's a gift and curse in my
How
opinion.
can I share my impact?
What's your perspective on?
How can I share my
impact?
impact of social media? Well, I have a class tomorrow and talks about my class is title is how AI can help your barber game.
Nice.
So if you
you teaching that?
I'm teaching that. I'm teaching that. So if you trying to go to the future or use social media now it has elevated to AI. So if you haven't got on AI to find out even about yourself and using social media, so we post all day on social media. But what does AI say about your social media name? So you should go to AI. Everybody go to AI, put in your social media name, and see what comes up. It might be the correct information, might not be the wrong information. So now when you post, you got to watch what you post because AI is learning about you from your post.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand how AI moves. It learns who you are from your posts. So that's how it goes down. So now it's getting a little bit tricky now. You can't post the weirdo stuff or the stuff that you think is fun because it's learning about you. Even though it's a joke for you, AI saying this is you.
Yeah.
So you gotta.
Yeah, that's funny you said that. I tell students that I talk to a few people when I do some coaching and mentoring on the side, right? And that's why I tell them. I tell them like, if you're gonna do AI, I mean, I'm already tapped in.
Yeah,
now, you're gonna be in the matrix. You're gonna have to get you a separate computer.
Separate computer.
But once you get tapped in and start messing around with it,
it's crazy.
you're right, because she start knowing you.
She gonna know,
Yeah, because now I'm up there having conversations now, like, and do this, and it's like they kind of know how you do it.
And it's tricks to social media. In the hair industry, you have to. And we in the world now, everybody want to have a brand. The brand. Well, in the hair industry, you should create a hair name. That hair name is your brand. You a certain person. So if your name is John Williams, your hair name could be John the Barber. That's your first brand. So your social media should be John the Barber, not your real name. So now you get an experience to create your own brand. So now that brand, that's your hair name, could be all about the hair. Your real name, it shouldn't be intertwined with your business name because it's two different people. It's your brand. So when you go to a meeting, you show up, represent your brand, which is you. You know what I'm saying? So that's what people have to realize.
So with that being said, let me ask you a question. Would you say, what's your thoughts on a question that's a very popular question that's asked, is do you need social media to be successful as a barber?
Well, it's not that you need social media. It's now they got it to the point that you have to use social media. In your barber experience. So if you're not using social media in your barber experience, you're gonna get clients, you're gonna make some money, but you're not gonna go where you want to go, and you're not gonna reach the same people that you want to reach because you don't have no presence.
Yeah.
So now they made it where you have to have a presence. You have to have one X, Facebook. You have to have something.
It's kind of like a business. I look at it kind of like a business card.
It's business card. You have to have something to get on there and push it. If you got all three, that's good. Now. Most people looking for numbers. Well, if you don't got 1 million followers, really, and that's really today is really 2-3%.
Right.
So if you just be on there, compare. Don't worry about your numbers.
Right.
Just be on there, have a presence, and post what you can, and have the presence.
Yeah.
If you don't have the presence, you're almost not even on the earth. Right now, if you don't have the presence of the computer, so it's definitely needed.
It's definitely needed, yeah, and that's why I tell students again, it is about what lane you're trying to go in. If you're trying to be a social media influencer,
that's a whole other business.
That means you're going to have to really run it. But then you can also, we tell students all the time, like you don't need it to be, to get to where you need to get to be successful.
Right.
But successful at the end of the day is objective on what
it's objective,
right? And so, but I think it is still, like you said, I think it's still something that you gotta have.
But still something you gotta have because right now everybody's running through booking apps.
Yep.
So that's basically social media.
And people looking you up
from the booking app. They're gonna find you from the booking apps and moving around. So even that is a different. I remember when that started at the show when the first booking apps came. So that's a whole nother genre that you need to have in your hair industry package.
Right.
A dope booking app. You know what I'm saying?
So we go, yeah,
you
we
can't,
got
you can't walk
he
in.
dropping
no
all
more.
the gyms. We
You
ain't
can't
got
do
no
the walk.
time. He got all the
can't
gyms.
just have.
We ain't got time to get all the gyms. We got to do another episode. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you got the whole gym you can drop on.
You can't do it. The days of the barbershop is the country club is over. No one's hanging in the shops no more. That era of the barbershop is the black man's country club or the men's country. That era is over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you on that type of time, you dated, you know, just you out the game. It's a whole new ball game right now. Appointment based, keep everybody clean, and keep it more professional.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got
right.
one more thing, Flipper. Go ahead.
No, that's one of the questions I was gonna say. Is there anything you like to share with the audience, or like you would like to share, or you can add whatever you want to add, and that's really.
No, I really don't got nothing to share. Well, the one thing I got to share, we keep it barber business. That as you see around, a lot of barber shops are painting their shops with dark colors. Black shops. So you paint your shop with dark colors because I don't know where it came from. I guess you want to look good, but if you do that, you need more ring lights. So because the light don't show up good, there's no lights bouncing off. So you have to watch what you're doing being a barber owner. My shop, I've had dark colors, but then more lights came. So I went back to a white wall so the light can bounce off better, and I got a better over the chair light. So all these barbers I see now making all this money, they got all this money on $200-300, $200, and I look at the lights that they using. They all got ring lights. So what I did in my shop this past December, I called a stadium lighting company. I said, can you light my shop up? They said, we never did a barber shop before. So they came in, I had to give basically do a whole specs of my shop and where the chairs at. When I did that, they said, this is the best light for you, for your shop. So I got a light.
Y'all hearing that?
I got a light, a special made light. You can't buy that man, the Home Depot's or low. I got a special light from this lighting company that they built. It centers in the center of my chair. My barber chair. Now it spins down 120. I got 120 degrees beam around my chair. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't have to. My barber has a small light. They don't have to big ring light because it's so bright over the head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it bounces off the wall. So now I got chairs next to each other, and now in the inner circle, 120 degrees overlap each other. So on both sides, when you're spinning, it's light. So now my shop looks cleaner without all these ring lights.
Yeah.
It makes your shop look like more
yeah.
depth. Now my shop looks more high end without all these ring lights.
Yeah.
So now if you're a barber owner or a barber and you say you get money, ask your owner, did you ever invest in getting the shop lit? You invest in chairs, the craftsmanship stations, which is an old style, but I know everybody use it. You're creating all that, but no one's concentrating, spending money on the lighting.
Yeah, and the lighting is the most important part.
thing. So barbershop owners or people trying to open a barbershop, two things. When you open up a shop, make sure the water heater can sustain the shampoo. You need a dope water heater, and get the lighting company to come in and do your shop. Stop thinking that you're just gonna poke some lights up.
That's the gem.
You got the money, spend for the lighting company to come in. It was expensive, but it was worth the money because my shop looked good and it's bright. People walk past my shop, I'm like, yo, your shop bright.
Right.
Yes, the daytime or nighttime, because I got a special light.
But I like that. I didn't even think about. That's a big gem. I haven't even. That makes a lot of sense. To why not? Reach out to some lighting companies.
And light your shop up.
Then I'm gonna go ahead and just step on out there. I would like to, motivate other students. Like that may be a lane that you may want to get into. Y'all start a business and y'all go around and get that training. Of course, get trained on it. Right? But
and I like
go around offer the service to help light shops and salons.
And today my light on top of my ceiling is so small. When he sent me the light, I was like, "You sure it's gonna be bright enough?" So the light I got over each tier, it has 4 different levels. It goes from 30%, 50% to 80% to 100%.
Wow.
So I got it at 50 because above that is so bright, you can't even look at it.
Yeah. So you said people walk by to like, yo, why it's so bright up in there?
At night, daytime it's so bright, and my whole shop window is all glass, so I got natural light coming in, but it's still so bright.
Yeah.
So when I look at it, I always ask shop owners something new, y'all know. And I said, I wish you would have called me so I could send you to this light company and get your shop relit the right way.
Right way.
So everybody putting ring lights on the wall, it looks a mess, and it's still not bright.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
and they all LED.
Yeah, all LED, and you saving money. So that means saving money. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I got for you, bro. Like, I mean, there's some
Yeah.
more questions.
Well,
We're gonna
yeah.
definitely talk some more, but
But
I
don't forget-
I want to make sure that we do. But go ahead.
Yeah,
There's
don't
some-
forget everybody on every month instead of doing Black History, after the pandemic, I created Black Barber Month. Where all I do is I promote a Black barber. I do females on Tuesday, and the rest of the days I do a Black barber from across the country. It might be you. There's no criteria. You don't got to be the best. You can be a student. Anything. It depends on when I search people's names, cities. I search by city, state. Social media sometimes, or if I come across you, I'll post you. So you have to be
I
the
appreciate
best
it. I'm
enough like that. Like I
I'm
found you,
recipient. I appreciate
and
it.
I post it. If I could pull a picture off of social media, I pull it up. One last thing too, when I do that, is so many barbers. You have thousands of pictures of clients, but you never have a good picture of yourself on your page. So you need to sometimes do a photo shoot for yourself.
'Cause that's your resume.
That's your resume. You
Yeah.
got pictures of everybody, but you don't got pictures of yourself.
Portfolio, I guess.
So many cats I wanted to use, but they don't have a good picture of their stuff on social media. It's always with food or drink or to the side.
Right. So y'all hear that?
Get up
Tighten
the
your picture.
game.
Tighten
Tighten
your
your picture
up.
game up
Go
the-
get
of
your
yourself.
professional headshot in there.
Yeah,
Relax. It's all right.
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Other than that, you
pause.
know,
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Put your headshot.
I'm Craigskilz. I'm glad to be a part of the situation.
Yeah, and I appreciate you, man. Now, make sure you give them all your way they can contact you.
Yeah.
You remind them
Yeah,
all your
I'm
social media.
Craigskilz, Skilz, 1 L and a Z at everything. So everything you can find me is all Craigskilz, 1 L and a Z at everything.
All right. Well, we ain't got the big money, but I do want to say thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This little band here, we're
nah,
representing
nah,
on the radio. You know what I'm
the
saying?
band.
So I appreciate you out of here.
I got the
We done tagged you up out here. You know what I'm saying? So you're the first one we gave this out to. You're the first one to get the band get tagged out here. So we appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
and
I
I appreciate
appreciate
your
it,
time. And we'll see y'all next time. It's the Underrated. Like, subscribe, click that bell to be notified.
Yeah.
All right.